Right, hello everyone. Let's do a quick little Q&A then, shall we? Well, I'm glad there's some anticipation for a music video. There's definitely a music video coming. Maybe more than one. But yeah, it's definitely something that I'm working on, so I can safely say that. Okay, so on the album, there is going to be 8 songs, which doesn't sound like a lot. And believe me, it started as 10, then I went up to 12, and then I kind of felt that those tracks didn't really fit the goal of the album, if that makes sense, or the sound. So went down to 8, and I'm completely happy with the 8 that are on there. So the others will be released on a special edition, if you will, and maybe go towards my next album as well. Um, I thought 8 was, too little in terms of tracks, or in the way of tracks, but think about it. Black Sabbath's Paranoid now has 8 tracks. Led Zeppelin's number 4, the fourth album, that has 8 tracks. So, yeah, maybe it's not a bad thing after all, but I look forward to sharing them anyway. What's my favourite track on the album? Okay, now this one, I hate answering questions like this about my favourite things because I don't want to say anything that makes me sound egotistical. But my favourite track on the album, I think Last Warning, to be honest with you. I know I've released it as a single already, but it's just a banger. I'm really happy with that one. Came out exactly how I wanted it. Chris, my mixer, did an amazing job. Kit, the drummer, all on point. Everything sounds crisp. The drums slap. It sounds good. Um, Apart from Last Warning, Call It Rock and Roll it was one of the first tracks I wrote, so it's the first track I wrote on this album. So yeah, yeah, there are other musicians featured on this album. My great friend Ollie Latham, he does some silky solo work on Call It Rock and Roll. Um, Rosalia Ritchie, now she does some beautiful harmonies and backing vocals on the ballad of the album By Your Side. Kit, who did quite a few of the tracks in terms of drums, amazing drummer. Chris, he does some keys on there as well as being my mixer and master. You know what I mean. And there are a couple other musicians, but I'm gonna link all their names and such in my dedicated post to the album that will be out shortly. But yeah, I wouldn't have been able to do it without them. So I'm very grateful for their work. God, you got a lot of good questions on here. My biggest challenge. Ooh, there was a couple challenges. I think I'm quite a perfectionist. Maybe that's the Virgo in me. I don't know. But when it came to a couple of the tracks, Call It Rock and Roll, Crossing the Line, I had great trouble being satisfied with the results. I mean, I must have done 20 takes perhaps, particularly of the vocals. Now, obviously, no one's a huge fan of their voice. I personally am the biggest fan of my voice, but I was quite happy with the results in the end. It took a lot of work, a lot of stress, time, money, but yeah, in the end, I'm satisfied. I'm really happy. It's my first album, and I'm really happy with the results, considering. But yeah, that was probably my biggest challenge: being satisfied with the results, because obviously I made the songs. None of them are covers. I completely made them from the ground up. I'd start on my guitar, and then I would add, some melodies, some very simple vocal lines, lyrics. In fact, a couple of the songs fully improvised in the way of lyrics. But yeah, that's really all there is to it. My biggest challenges were being satisfied. Yeah, there will be a physical release of my album. It's going to be out fairly shortly, give or take a month or so. But I'll keep you posted on that. Getting a physical release done was a lot harder than I thought it would be for whatever reason. But they will be available to purchase, $9.99 around that. But if you're interested, just give me a message and I'll keep you updated. Uh, and HMV in Yeovil, for example, will be stocking it in store when it's released. I have a good relationship with the manager there. So yeah, it's a very exciting time. Very exciting. Yes, I will be doing a miniature tour, if you will, of the album. So I may even feature some new songs that aren't on the album. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, you'll be able to catch me live. Stay tuned on my Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever you use, because I will announce something on there fairly shortly. So I look forward to seeing you all live. It's going to be great.
Thank you so much for all the questions. I know it was fairly short, but you know, I got to keep making music. So thank you so much, and enjoy the album. Keep rocking.